So someone that is due to, say, for example, fear of abandonment as a child, they become anxiously attached. How does that manifest within a more intimate relationship when they're an adult?
It seems to me the way they manifest in adult relationships is things might start off normally, and then if things start getting more serious and intimate, usually there's some kind of trigger. For instance, let's say a couple don't see each other for 2 weeks because one of the two people goes on holiday. Maybe that triggers an attachment system activation. So the nervous system gets activated. So the anxious person will start getting anxious, and then that may make them needy. And then if they express a lot of emotional dependence, and if they want a lot of reassurance from their partner, that might be avoidant. That's going to trigger their nervous system to be activated because they don't really feel nice when people emotionally depend on them. They also feel their independence threatened. They feel that they're losing their freedom. And so they're going to start pulling away. That's going to make the anxious person even worse because they're like, oh shit, my insecurities are coming through. My doubts are manifesting themselves to reality. And so I think that's kind of how it manifests. I think there's some kind of external trigger that will trigger one of them, and that's going to trigger the other person. Whereas if it's a secure person with an insecure person, that trigger might trigger the insecure person, but the secure person won't receive it as a threat. So let's say if their insecure partner starts pulling away a little bit because they might have become overwhelmed with something, or if they're a bit too clingy, if they're anxious, a secure person might say, that's okay. Like their nervous system won't necessarily react. They won't feel threatened, so it's going to de-escalate by itself. Maybe after a few days, the trigger goes away. The other partner is secure, so they don't feed into the other person's cycle. Their own cycle doesn't start. So that's kind of how I interpret it. So it's interesting because it seems to me like, so a secure and an anxious person can have a relationship together, or a secure and an avoidant person. And if that secure person is really secure, they can help the anxious or avoidant person become more secure over time. An avoidant and an avoidant together would rarely mix because no one's going to make the initial effort.
Okay, they'll just
the effort to continue
drift out of.
Yeah. Anxious avoidant is where vicious cycles begin because it's one pulls away, the other comes and rushes behind, then the anxious one eventually gives up. And so it's this weird vicious cycle. But there's a really nice experiment. So they put the kid in a room with toys, and the caregiver is with them initially, and then the caregiver leaves the room. So anxiously attached children usually will run immediately to the door crying, saying, oh, where is my mom, or something. Whereas more secure children will play a little bit with the toys first, and then maybe if mom's away for like some considerable amount of time, then they'll start thinking in a more reasonable reaction. So they'll start thinking, oh, where's mom? Like, whereas avoidant children might even prolong that kind of time until they search for their caregiver.